Hi guys, so for today's recipe we're going to make some Reese's peanut butter chocolate Oreo bars. So to make this recipe you're going to need some creamy peanut butter, a pack of Oreo cookies, some melted butter, butter at room temperature, powdered sugar, heavy whipping cream, chocolate chips, and if you want to decorate it, some Reese's Pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is turn our cookies into cookie crumbs. Now you can do that by putting them in the food processor. I use the blender, which I just put in a few at a time and it eventually worked. So all you're going to do is mix your crumbs with your melted butter. I did add a little bit too much butter, so yours might not be as wet. This is our cookie crust. So to make our life easier, go ahead and put some plastic wrap in your pan. Now you can make individual ones in a cupcake pan, or you can turn this into a pie. I just chose to do it into bars because it seemed easier. So all you're going to do is push this down up in there. You want to make sure it's nice and even. I found that using the back of the spoon worked perfect. Now we're going to pop that in the freezer to set for about 10 minutes. Now while that's in there, we're going to work on our peanut butter filling. So go ahead and mix your peanut butter and your butter that's been sitting at the room temperature. We're going to beat that until it's nice and silky smooth. Now we're going to slowly start to add in our powdered sugar. So now that we've got our crust out of the freezer, we're going to go ahead and top it with our peanut butter filling. Just make sure you make everything nice and even. So now we're going to pop that back in the freezer to set for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now for our chocolate, you want to heat your cream up in a saucepan. You don't want to bring it, to boiling, but you want to heat it up pretty well, enough to melt the chocolate. And then you're going to pour it over your peanut butter and your chocolate. And just mix that up until it's nice and silky smooth. So we're going to grab that out of the freezer and we're going to top it with our chocolate. Make sure it's nice and even. Now to make it look cute, you can go ahead and skip this, but to make it look cute, I just topped it with a few Reese's Pieces. Yes. And then we're going to cover this and pop it back in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, aren't you glad we used that plastic? Yes, girl. Now, in the reviews for this recipe, a few people said it would be better to cut them when they're frozen still. But let me tell you, when these things are at room temperature or even, refrigerator temperature, they are so silky and creamy. I mean, it looks hard right here because they're frozen, but I promise you it's so silky, smooth, and creamy and yummy.